Now, having got a fair idea of what big data is and if it is worth the hype, which we all came to the conclusion it definitely is worth the hype, we are in now a better position to understand why the world has suddenly woken up to big data, given the fact that data has been being churned out by corporates, by countries, by NGOs for so many years. And why suddenly you wait till the second half of the first decade for this consciousness to come in that yes, we are in a world where data rules. So maybe Mr. Nitin Verma has some points to offer.
Sure, Abhishek. Uh, I'm going to take a very broad perspective because this actually started when we talk about starting of computers. So let's actually step back into time that far and understand that we've been punching cards, holographic cards, we all right. So we've been punching cards from there on, and we actually started data generation at that time in terms of the modern era. I mean, we can actually go far behind and talk about data has already been there and blah blah blah. But we will talk about computers and this age. So we started punching cards, we started generating data from there on. And so far, we've been accumulating data and we've been just going on with the process and things are looking fine. But now what has happened is that, we have connectivity, we have processing power and we can actually make use of the data. So far, we were only looking at, okay, this is data, this is to be data warehouse, this should be stored in this form or that form and so on and so forth. But now what is happening is this is a connected world. A person X who has a certain characteristics, is very likely to purchase a certain product. Today we understand this in over a period of time, various bodies of knowledge, marketing, psychology, linguistics, so many fields have come together, statistics. And today we can say that there is a probability of 0.5 or whatever, that this person with this background will buy this particular product which has this branding. So when you're talking about this, you actually need information which is in various formats, which is called in unstructured formats for big data. And you also need access to so many domains. Obviously, this information is of no use, if it is of just of tomorrow. I mean, you can't really predict somebody's behavior based on yesterday. So you have to look at how was this person or this product doing for the last 5 years, last 10 years. What happened when the company evolved? For example, if a company is shutting down today or losing money, why is it losing money? What happened over the last 100 years of its existence? Did it diversify? What product lines did it add? Did it fail? What competitors came in? How did the landscape change? What are government regulations that have changed? So you can actually make this really, really complex.
Yeah.
So today's world is actually very complex. And this expands the concept of big data because now we're looking at different aspects of data, legal, personal, behavioral, purchase data, POS, internet behavior, stuff like that. And then you're combining all this together and trying to understand what is this customer trying to do, or am I going to make my profit next quarter? So that is why today we are talking about big data. Now, why big data? We already talked about it. Why we call this big data? Because this is really humongous. This is huge. This is not measured in gigabytes. First of all, this is going to be petabytes and so on. So gigabyte is not even a term used in big data. Actually, you start with the petabyte scale. And like my friend here said, we are doing like 12 gigabytes or something, you said, per day or per second. So just multiply this with all the IT applications we have. We have mobile phones. We have almost 1 billion people accessing Facebook through so many devices. So you can just see how this is building up. This is so huge. This is what big data is. And if I would, kind of try to summarize this a bit, I would say we have been frying in this oil because my friend here used the term, this is oil of this decade, or this now the current era we are in. So we have been frying in this oil for a long time, and we have IT has also been driving on this oil for a long time. So that is what I would say, and time has come now to put the big picture together. Because as we live in an integrated world, a company in Britain selling soap in Australia wants to know how to expand in India. So you have to understand there is so much to know, there is so much to learn about all of us, which was not just possible before. So this is where I would leave it for all of us to discuss.
So like Nitin sir says, it's simply just two factors. One is the quantity. So the last 2 years, the overall information that we have got is measured in terms of zettabytes. Zettabytes is like a billion terabytes. So Harvard says that the information that we have collected over the last 2 years is more than the information that we have had ever since the existence of the Earth. So that's one quantity. But like Nitin sir said, it's not so much the quantity, like quality. So what we are able to do now is, we have so much quantity, but what are we able to do with the data? We are able to manipulate data, we are able to get stories from the data. For example, there is a Harvard professor, Gary Kay. So his colleague was faced with a problem and he wanted to analyze some data. The data was so humongous that he actually wanted a $2 million supercomputer to solve it. And he said it will still take 2 hours for the $2 million supercomputer to analyze the entire data. But then Gary King and his analytics students sat together for 3 hours, developed an algorithm, and using that they could solve the entire, they could analyze the entire data within 20 minutes on a laptop. So that's the kind of expertise that we are building right now. So since we have the expertise now, big data comes to the fore now. It is simply that. It's simply that we didn't have expertise before. Now we are building it.
So finally, maybe we can say the human mind is catching up with where data is taking us.
Yes.
So the particular, the uniqueness of this our generation is that we are information is spreading in a very large scale. Now, so why I'm saying this is because if you take your any social sites, we share anything and everything. So what this means from an organization perspective is like you can analyze whether you have any brand. Whether your branding goes up or your branding goes down. All these kind of data can be analyzed with big data. And if you're not leveraging it, then I would say that you're living under the stones.
Going back to stone age, not keeping up. Final words.
Yeah, so first of all, in continuation with the oil analogy, as Mr. Nitin pointed out, it's time to fry. We have been frying the oil for quite long. Now it's time to actually cook some quick profits using this, quick and long term also both. Now coming to this point, why have world suddenly realized this much potential in the big data and there is so much hype at it? Why it has come? So I would like to point to some technical trends that have happened in the past 40 or 50 years, and then why suddenly there has been such a boom. If you notice, the graph on your screen right now, both the data storage capacity and the computational power, they both have been, since 50s and 60s, they have grown exponentially. But the growth in data storage capability, that has surpassed the growth in computing capability. And roughly around 2004 or 5, the saturation level was being reached. You can have more and more data, but in order to compute, the computing cycle kept on increasing. Even with the supercomputers and all that, Mr. Manoj pointed out, it still took a lot of time to process that data. In 2003 and 4, there was a paradigm, a seminal shift in the way the computing, data computing was to be handled. It came through 2 research papers that came from Google. One was regarding Google File System, which later on became the HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System, and another was a programming paradigm change known as MapReduce. So it's these 2 techniques which actually made possible that to use combinatorial computers, that even this laptop can process the same data which earlier you needed to supercomputer to process it. So these 2 technological innovations have kicked off the event.
So nice summary. So I guess I can legitimately summarize this that yes, technological developments have taken place in this world, not only in terms of churning data but also in terms of analyzing the data. And as Manoj also mentioned, that the human skill set has also kept pace with this, which has enabled us to use technology to analyze the data. And as Nitin sir and Sanjay also talked about how people or corporates will be using data to generate insights that have not been heard of ever since, and accordingly, target products or target campaigns, and many different activities, which is what we'll be addressing in our next question.